I love the story. Kimo Ferrari, a San Diegan, Francis Parker alum, 4 years at Brown in the Ivy League, heading back to San Diego to complete his collegiate career at San Diego State, and he's with us right now on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, the home of the Aztecs. So, Kimo, thank you so much for taking a few minutes for our listeners and for listeners of the Aztecs as well. First of all, how did this opportunity come about, and thanks for hopping on.
No, thank you guys for having me. So, first off, just excited about this next year with the Aztecs, and it all really happened real quick. The NIL stuff, not the NIL, the transfer portal and all that is just crazy. But my old high school coach, Jim told me at Francis Parker, he used to coach at San Diego State and was an assistant for a long time in the early 2000s. So him and Dutcher had a pretty good relationship. And after that, he put in a good word for me, and I've known San Diego State, so it was an easy choice for me for sure.
And for you, like coming back here, how excited are you to be able to do that?
Oh, I'm so excited. Obviously born and raised in San Diego, and you know how good the Aztecs are and everyone that plays basketball. We don't have a pro basketball team out here in San Diego, so you look up to the Aztecs when you grow up. And going back east, it's so far away, and not a lot of friends or family really got to see me in person. So excited and amped for this next year.
You kind of had an amazing collegiate career to this point at Brown, and one of the things that really sticks out is what you did for Brown a year ago, where you guys nearly made the NCAA tournament. We can get more into that because San Diego State later saw Yale, obviously, in the tournament. But on your senior night, you scored 39 points. You were 14 of 16 from the floor, 10 of 12 from three. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you missed your first shot that night. You were then 14 for your next 15. What was that experience like? You needed to win to get into the Ivy League tournament. What was this senior night like for you?
That was just surreal. So, that was definitely one of the highlights of my Brown career, but I guess I just had it going. Teammates were looking for me. Coaches believed in me. Everything just came together that night. So, I'm really grateful for that night. It's definitely on the looking back on for the years to come.
Have you talked to the coaching staff at all about potentially what your role would look like this upcoming season for the Aztecs?
I haven't yet. Haven't really gone in depth with them. Brown is a pretty late, just their academic calendar is pretty late. So I actually only got back to San Diego within this last week or so. And then just with dead period for all colleges, that I think I'm going to try and get up to campus in the next coming days and trying to have more conversation, just get to know the coaching staff a little bit better, and just see where we go from there.
Kimo Ferrari with us right now, San Diegan, Francis Parker alum here in San Diego County with us on John and Jim. I want to go back to last year because, again, it was a pretty amazing story. You guys were kind of left for dead, right? 6-17 at one point, and you rattle off 7 consecutive wins. You're playing for an Ivy League championship. That's very rare in college basketball to turn a season around like that. How did you guys do it late?
It just speaks a lot to the culture that we had at Brown. Coach Martin, the rest of the coaching staff there was great. We had our backs against the wall midway through conference play, 2-7. And then as a group of guys, we just came together, understood what we had, the opportunity in front of us, and really took full advantage of it. I was able to rattle off 7 in a row. And then we were just a couple seconds away from the NCAA tournament. But that journey with those guys was just really special.
When you're watching Yale in the tournament, because the story's crazy, and this happens in athletics, there's great wins, there's heartbreaking defeats. You guys led Yale by 6 inside of a minute to play in the Ivy League championship game. Yale comes back and wins, and then, of course, they beat Auburn, and then they're playing San Diego State and Spokane in the second round in the NCAA tournament. When you're watching Yale, are you thinking that should have been us, or how are you watching that experience?
It was right when our spring break started. I had to finish a paper. So I'm actually on the plane ride back to San Diego for my spring break, writing a paper, half watching Yale on the airplane. It's a little bittersweet because the Ivy League in the Northeast, at least we feel like we get a little bit overlooked. So it's really nice to see that conference do well in the past 2 years with Yale this year and Princeton last year. But when you are that close, it definitely has a different feeling that you feel like you should be on that stage. But nothing but happy for Yale. And just looking forward for Brown next year. Hopefully they can get on that stage.
What was the paper that you were writing? What was that on?
I think it was an entrepreneurship class. So I did in-depth research about Gap and their big data analysis and how they can apply consumer behavior to their consumer trends.
It sounds like a paper you would write, Jim. Right?
That actually does not sound like a paper I would ever write. Did you get a good grade on it?
I think so. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I did. I was more concerned with March Madness for the ensuing week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Kimo Ferrari with us right now. Again, the newest Aztec here on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So in doing some of the research for our conversation, I read, I think you may have said, like, your way on the floor at Brown when you were an underclassman, maybe a sophomore, maybe your junior year as well, was with your defense, right? You're taking a lot of charges. You're playing defensive first basketball. Is that something that also was appealing to San Diego State? Because obviously it's known for its defense first culture.
Oh, definitely. I think, at least for me, and as my process in this recruitment is just looking for a great fit. And I mean, the location is great, being back home with family and friends and all that, but just the culture and the way that Dutcher plays is definitely something really appealing to me. I mean, their defensive first mentality, something I find is parallel to my game, and I just in love with the culture that they have. So, I mean, that was really what drew me to San Diego State.
You've been to an Aztec game as a fan at Viejas, correct, or no?
I did. Last game I actually went to was when Brown played San Diego State.
Oh my gosh, remember that game?
Yeah.
Desmond Cambridge?
Yeah, no, it was right before a holiday classic game of mine, so I only got to stay till half. But yeah, no, that was the last time I was in Viejas, so hopefully we can turn that around. Hopefully I don't bring that bad luck in there.
Well, yeah, hopefully you don't bring the bad luck in here, because if you do, we're all blaming you. But, now this whole full circle where, you're going to be playing at Viejas, what does that mean to you and your family that, you're going to be potentially on the court here playing when you were a fan in the stands?
Oh, I mean, it's just great. I mean, grew up, played basketball, and then probably going to be my last year of competitive basketball. I mean, it just comes full circle, and really just trying to take advantage of the opportunity. So real grateful that Dutcher and the entire coaching staff gave me this opportunity, really just try and take full advantage of it. But I mean, really going to try and cherish this last year for what it is.
What's your familiarity like with the Aztec roster? Again, it's only June. There's plenty of time, obviously, before the season starts. I'm curious, do you have like relationships with any of these players? Wayne McKinney's a San Diego guy, right? Played at Coronado. Have you played against or with Wayne McKinney or any other Aztecs?
I haven't played against Wayne. I know, like, in high school, but obviously played pickup with him. Pretty good mutual friends. So once I decided it was going to be San Diego State, definitely hit him up. And then we're actually in the process of looking for a place together right now. So it's going to be my roommate for next year. In terms of the other guys, I'm not really too sure. I know Coleman Jones from Middle Tennessee, and then you have Boyd from Florida Atlantic. I don't really have the personal relationship with them as I do with Wayne, but definitely looking forward to get to know them in the next couple of weeks.
As you know, because you've attended games as a fan, I mean, Viejas is one of the premier environments for college basketball in the country. Do you have a best college basketball environment to this point during your 4-year career at Brown? Maybe it's the Ivy Championship game in New York, but is there another game that sticks out potentially as well?
First Division I basketball game was UNC at UNC, which was pretty crazy. But the Ivy League tournament, though, was pretty crazy. And then, I mean, the biggest game I remember going to as an Aztecs fan growing up was when they had Arizona. I think it might have been the early 2010s. I'm not sure who was playing, but I remember Arizona came to town. That was a huge game.
Well, we're excited for you. I mean, what an amazing opportunity to come home after graduating from Brown and getting a chance to play for San Diego State for a final collegiate season.
We need to get you an NIL deal with some type of car dealership for Ferraris, because, I mean, it kind of sets up perfectly.
I mean, if you guys can set that up, I'd be more than willing.
Oh, no problem.
Oh, it's easy
Absolutely.
for us.
We both drive Ferraris, so it's not an issue.
I have 2 of them, actually.
We work in radio.
Yeah.
Kimo Ferrari, congratulations. We're looking forward to seeing you on the Mesa soon. Thank you for taking time for our listeners, and enjoy the summer, and we'll catch up again soon, all right?
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
All right, great stuff. Kimo Ferrari, the newest Aztec, coming home to the Mesa. Pretty cool story.
Yeah, very cool story. That's first game, or the last game he was
Dude, that game was a disaster.
Against Brown. And now he's on the court, and he'll be on the court with this Aztec team.
So that game, real quick, Desmond Cambridge hit like 150 threes. Brown, well, like, consider this. In the Brian Dutcher era, where San Diego State has won like 95% of their home games, they lost to Brown December 29, 2018, 82-61. 82-61 in a game where I want to say Desmond Cambridge, he had to score 30 points. It was something ridiculous.